Good morning, everybody. John here at Havoc Maker Studio and FNP Wargamers. So today I want to cover a couple videos. I've been trying to do it over the past couple days. I've been not on a vacation, but I've been house sitting a very needy, I guess, boy, what's the word I'm looking for? A giant mastiff, well, a puppy that comes up to like my waistline. But he's got some dependency issues and can't be alone for extended periods of time. So basically, I've been babysitting slash house sitting, and so I haven't been doing any videos. But I've got a host of videos I've been wanting to do, and yesterday I tried to knock them out. I did. They started getting really poopy pants, and I thought, I don't. Let's put out some positive videos. Let's put out positive videos. So I didn't upload anything. So today we are going to talk about positive gaming news. So I've got 3 videos lined up for today. Marvel Crisis Protocol. We're going to talk about some Games Workshop stuff a little later, and some RPG news that seems to be rolling out. So first, Atomic Mass Games puts out probably the best tabletop skirmish game out there. I got to be totally honest. Rules wise, miniature wise, the way that they publicize everything, that the way they keep people informed and tease and trailers and everything, just spot on. So they put out a game called Marvel Crisis Protocol. You've heard me talk about it before. So today, this is not a portal to hell, by the way, that you're seeing on your screen, but this just did pop up today. And of course, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, people have already gone, oh my God, Mephisto confirmed, Mephisto confirmed, Mephisto confirmed. And it's like, guys, why are you thinking Mephisto confirmed? Let's just put a little bit of knowledge into the gaming world here. The Marvel Cinematic Universe, MCU, like television shows like WandaVision, the upcoming Moon Knight, Hawkeye, the movies like Avengers, of course, Iron Man, all those. And we can talk about the show Loki, which has some connection here. Those are separate from the Marvel Comics. And Marvel Crisis Protocol is separate from the comics. From what we understand as of right now is that it's not in the prime Marvel Comics universe of 616. So it's all separate, but there is definitely a difference between the comics, the game, and the MCU, and they do that way they can, well, do whatever they want, really, at the end of the day. And they can keep the different realms or the different dimensions separate and be able to focus, so you don't have to worry about overlap and everything. Now, the thing is that Marvel Crisis Protocol, the game, is closer to the comics, and you can see that by looking at every single miniature, every rules that has come out, every character card, everything about it is comic, not MCU. So a lot of people are like, oh, Mephisto confirmed, because Mephisto is starting to kind of pop up mainly in the Loki television show, and there was hints in the WandaVision. But he is showing up again. He's been showing up for, I don't know, since the 70s, since he was plaguing. I'm pretty sure he was a problem for the Defenders and Ghost Rider for a very long time. Anyways, so since the 70s, so it's not like anything new. But push all that aside, and people still think, oh, it's Mephisto. Not everybody, but of course, Twitter. But what we're getting here is actually Dormammu, basically a god that is a major opponent to Doctor Strange and all magical people and whatnot. The reason why we know that this is coming out, well, there's actually several reasons. The factual and some stuff we had before. We knew that there was a kit coming out that was like $79.95, I believe it was. It's probably the most expensive character kit and we didn't know why, but we just assumed that, okay, it was going to include Dormammu, and it was going to include an ultimate encounter, which is cool. So we get to add the ultimate encounter on top of that. Yay. And all the associated cards and knickknacks. But what we didn't know what else came with it. And now we know. This hell portal, if you will, is one of those, one of two actually, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But we know that is coming out. So people need to kind of back off and maybe read the room, so to speak. Don't think that just because something's going on in the MCU that has links to the game or links to the comics. They're doing their damnedest to keep all three not connected. The only thing that is connected is, hey, Moon Knight is in the comics. He was in a couple cartoons, and he's going to be in the MCU. That's the connection. The storylines are not connected, so slow your roll. But I enjoy your enthusiasm. Just we're not at Mephisto yet. Let's get caught up with everything else that we know that's coming out, but we just haven't seen miniatures for yet, like the Dormammu set. So let's talk about the Dormammu set. So what you're seeing here is this wonderful little hell portal, which I think is really, really cool looking. And you're actually going to get one of two of those. So I'm going to read this off because I know some people are driving, and I don't want you reading while you're driving because you'll get in a car accident. So it says the ruler of the dark dimension enters Marvel Crisis Protocol. Yay! Doesn't say yay. I'm throwing that in. One of an enigmatic race of beings made of pure mystical energy. He possesses patience that can be measured in eons. He has the intelligence beyond reckoning and command of the mystical arts to match. As the most imposing foe for Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Strange, he represents a threat to entire realms, and this adds to players' crisis to players' Marvel Crisis Protocol rosters with a beautifully detailed, unpainted miniature, along with a Nexus miniature. What a Nexus miniature is, I don't know, and two-dimensional Rift miniatures, which you guys just saw. We'll double back here. This pack also contains everything you need to face off against Dormammu in a unique ultimate encounter. Cool. Do you have what it takes to halt Dormammu's dimensional incursion before he can draw the universe under his control? Really cool stuff. A Nexus miniature, two-dimensional rifts, and of course, Dormammu himself. So I'm assuming this is the dimensional, what is it called? Let me back up here. Two-dimensional rift miniatures. This to me looks like a dimensional rift miniature. What's a Nexus miniature? I don't know. Is this the Nexus of realities that has connections to Havoc and Man-Thing? I don't know. Is it just? I really don't know what it's going to be. Is it kind of a centerpiece that you can, I don't know, kind of like Thanos and his throne? Is it going to be something similar like that where Dormammu can, I don't know, you connect them and they build a robot? I don't know. I'm just kidding. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, with all the miniature, all the little components here, but most of them I'm very sure are going to be more, at least in regards to the portals, they sound like they be a little bit more along the lines of being connected to the ultimate encounter. Now the Nexus might be something, an extra little scenery piece that you can add on. Is it going to have its own stat card, kind of like the Infinity Stones? I really don't know, but we're going to be watching for this in the near future. Let me know what you guys think, though, down in the description. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. And if you think it's Mephisto, go ahead and toss it in. No worries. If it is Mephisto, I don't know, I'll do something silly on the show and I will totally eat crow on that one. But very, very likely this is Dormammu. So I'm willing to take that bet. So, but anyways, let me know what you guys think down below. So I also want to give a shout out to a webpage I'm not sure too many of you guys are aware of, but it's Xavier-Protocols.com. This is a webpage that I've been a little slightly familiar with when I think it was the store manager for Atomic Games, Atomic Hobby Shop. I had posted up in a chat group months and months ago, and it's actually a very useful site on top articles for Marvel Crisis Protocol, top some of the top rosters. Now, when you see these like season 5 roster updates and all that stuff, keep in mind that these are people that are participating in a very specific tabletop simulator event. It's not pulling worldwide. I don't think, from what I can see right now, that they're not pulling stats from any tournaments that are being used in the Best Coast Pairing app, which hopefully at someday they will. But it does provide a nice peek into some stats. Also, like what characters are being used the most, what affiliations are being used the most. It even gives some nice tips on stuff like, I don't know, playing A-Force. I mean, that's a season or so ago. Using the Hulk, MODOK seems always being being used. But anyways, at the end of the day, there's some really great articles that can at least help get you kind of synced up. And you can also look at characters, crisis cards, and whatnot. That way you can kind of have a good idea of maybe formulating your team, or especially if you're new into Marvel Crisis Protocol and you want to read before you buy. So you can let me back up here. You can roll back or go to the Atomic Mass Games webpage. They have the rule book for free. Okay. And I believe that inside the rule book, it's a PDF. You can see a stat card for, I think, the Red Skull and Captain America. Okay, I'm going to just kind of put you through all this. If not, you can find the character cards just that are either on Atomic Mass Games Facebook page, or you can just Google it and it'll pop up in images. And so if you get yourself a couple 8-sided dice, and you're just going to have to apply start with like a critical success. You'll have to try to figure this out yourself. And I think there actually might be a chart inside in the book. In fact, I'm very positive there is. But have a couple 8-sided dice, or actually a lot of 8-sided dice, and assign certain values. Like an 8 would be, say, a critical success. A 1 would be a critical failure, and then there are different symbols would match up with the different dice. So a little bit of tiny bit of work on your part. What I'm getting at is that you can actually grab a couple miniatures, even a couple Warhammer 40,000 miniatures, or Age of Sigmar, or Privateer Press, whatever your favorite game is, and test out the rules before you buy. Now, mind you, it's going to be a very limited test. You're not going to have, full access to all the abilities, and you're not going to have the measuring sticks and all that kind of the measuring tools and whatnot. You're going to be limited, but at the very least, you can see how the rules work. So you can activate a character, do their attacks, see what the attack and defending, how easily that plays, and back and forth. And if you got access to some team tactic cards and whatnot, you can try those out just to give you a taste of what it is. I mean, obviously, the best thing for you to do is buy the main box set. Like Atomic Mass Games has at least one of the main boxes, which I think is probably the best buy. I think it's like $100, $99.99, I think. And you get 10 characters. You need a 10 character roster. Boom, there you go. You get all your dice, your measuring sticks, or measuring tools, everything you need to play the game. And most characters are like 2 characters for $40. Between $35 and $40 on average. And which is cheaper than buying Warhammer 40,000 models, by the way. At any rate, you are getting everything you need to play, and then from there you can pick and choose literally which characters that you want. You don't even need all these other characters. You can just play with that one box. Regardless, I think you're going to be hooked once you test this out, read over the rules, maybe even test it out at home with some of your buddies, and maybe even go up and see if your local game store like Atomic Mass Games, Atomic Hobby Shop here in Cypress, Texas. There's also, I'm pretty sure Eden Games has a couple people, Asgard, I believe, and Fat Ogre Games and Comics, maybe. They People play this game pretty much all around Houston. I think there's like 60 some odd players here in Houston. So that's just locally. If you're outside of Houston area, just Google or Facebook. Find your Facebook group. Find people that are doing this and get involved. Heck, you guys can split a box or just everybody just buy their own box and you have your roster ready to go. What I'm trying to say is that it's very easy to try this game out without buying. And then once you buy, you're going to be hooked. You're going to probably want to give up playing other tabletop miniature games. I don't know where else I was going with that, but I'm going to stop there. I'm just going to start rambling on. Anyways, later on this week, we should be seeing some new panel to play. I don't think we're going to see a new character card because even though I reported last week on the actual leak, not a reveal, a leak of Cassandra Nova, who actually got revealed this week. I don't think we're going to have any more reveals this week, but we will be getting a panel to play probably tomorrow. Who that's going to be, I don't know. Maybe Moon Knight or Blade. I'm thinking Moon Knight or Blade is going to, that's going to be our next round of characters. After that, the only other ones that I think we really know about is Juggernaut and Colossus are slated. So, and Dormammu, of course. So Dormammu might be up on chopping blocks here pretty soon. Anyways, so this is our first video today. This is my first video back into the studio. Later on today, we're going to have one for Games Workshop and one on some RPGs that dropped in the past couple weeks or are about ready to be dropped, like Fallout, Dune, and some 5e games that were very successful with their Kickstarters. At any rate, you guys have yourself a wonderful day, and I will chat with you real soon.